Hey guys, Erin here. Welcome back to another bullet journal plan with me video. I hope you had a wonderful July and now it's time to get ready for August. Okay, let's talk about stuff first before anything else. I am keeping it really simple this time around. I've already sketched out my plan for this month with a pencil and an eraser because I make a lot of mistakes. I don't always do this, but this month I was trying some new stuff, so I thought that would be a good idea. I've got this little stack of Faber-Castell Pitt Artist brush pens. I didn't end up using the green one, and I did end up using a couple of other colours that I'm not holding right here, some like pale colours to line off some grids and stuff. But they're all Faber-Castell Pitt Artist brush pens, so, you know, choose your own adventure with your colours if you want to do something like this. This is my trusty Artline 220 Superfine 0.2 fine liner. I flip between this and the Sharpie pens. Basically just whatever's closer is what I'll use. I like them equally. The Sharpie pens are a little bit thicker, I think, but I don't really notice a difference. And this is the Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen. Not doing so much kind of cursive calligraphy kind of stuff this time around, just some bold lettering, but still gonna stick to the Fudenosuke. And my notebook of choice at the moment is the Leuchtturm 1917, and I'm also using the Choose to Do in a Hollow cover in Inner Beauty for my bulleted journal because I like to keep it extra protected. Okay, let's start colouring some stuff in. I've gone for a carnival kind of fun fair theme this time around because August is the month of the Ekka in Brisbane. The Ekka is a big sort of agricultural, I guess you'd call it a fun fair or a carnival depending on where you're from. In Australia we call it the show. Oh, my cat's come to visit. Hi Mitsu. It's the big agricultural show that happens every year in Brisbane and I look forward to it every year. I love going with my partner's family and my dance crew also perform usually most years. So that's what we're celebrating with my bullet journal setup for August. So I did what I often do for doodle kind of setups, which is to jump on Google and search for, I think I had to search for fun fair doodles to get anything that really matched what I was looking for, because when I searched for carnival I kind of got Carnival. So I've got some Ferris wheels and big tops and roller coasters and balloons and that sort of thing going on. It's very, very simple stuff. It's mostly just really basic shapes, lines, and the Ferris wheel carriages are little like macaron shapes and it's very cute. I just wanted it to be really bright and colourful. I loved my really minimal setup that I had last month and I really enjoyed using it. But this month, I don't know, August is still technically winter in Australia, but it's also when things start to get really warm again. Not that we've really had a winter in Brisbane this year anyway, but you know. This is basically the same beginning of month setup logistically as last month. I've got a grid calendar on the right-hand side and a little cover page on the left-hand side because I don't like devoting 2 whole pages to a cover page. I've done that in the past, I just feel like it takes up too much space. And I could be using those pages for other more productive things. So I'm just heading back in here with my little fine liner, going over all of the details in all of these little doodles. Really, really simple stuff. This did take a little while just because there is a lot of detail, even though there's not a lot of detail, if you get what I mean. There's lots of lines to be drawn, lots of things to be coloured in. So this cover page spread with the calendar and everything took probably half of the entire setup time for this month. So if you're not wanting to spend that much time on a setup, then you don't have to. Just use less detail than I did. Just adding in some numbers for the days of the week. I always have to check my phone to make sure that I've got the right numbers going on there. And then I'm going to erase all of my pencil marks with the help of my trusty Mitsu, my darling kitty. He is very sweet and helpful. Once we've got all of that erased, we're moving on to the next spread, which is gratitude, habits, and mood tracking. I do the same thing every month with these bad boys. It's just a setup that works for me, that I enjoy using, that I don't feel the need to change if it isn't broken, if that makes sense. Sticking to my little ticket header design that I did on the first page with my August heading, and I'm just carrying over the bunting from the top part of the page. So I had bunting along the top of the cover page, and that was kind of the easiest part to draw and fill in. So I'm just doing the same thing probably through the rest of the theme, honestly. Hi Mitsu, thanks for your help, darling. He really likes cuddles and doesn't like when you're not paying attention to him. So even though this is the same setup to usual, I do sometimes find that I have trouble keeping track of where I'm writing which gratitude entry and which habit I'm keeping track of. So once I've got all my numbers in here, I actually thought I'd grab some more pastel colored brush pens and just go through and add some differentiation for these lines, just to make things easier on myself. I was only going to add one color, but then once I added in the yellow, I thought it'd be fun to have some blue. So I mixed it up a little bit, and I did make a couple mistakes where I've had to kind of go over it with the other color. Honestly, it doesn't bother me that much. The spread is still going to work. It's a little bit frustrating, and I do go like, oh no, every time I do that when I'm planning, but it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to work. The spending tracker has only joined my lineup this year, and it's been a really helpful system where I can really see how much money I'm spending. I track every cent that I spend. That has helped me stay focused on savings goals and that sort of thing as well. This is one where I can get very confused if I'm not really aware of what line I'm on. So I've added in just the blue ones, so this time I didn't want to have that whole spread get overwhelmed with color. And of course a little bit of bunting along the top just to keep with the theme. And then we're on to the very first weekly for August, which has a few days of July in it. The way I like to set things up for my weekly spreads so that I'm not dividing things into like only 3 days within my July setup and then having 4 days within my August setup from the same week, because I need to be able to see my whole week at one shot. Instead, I like to incorporate the week into whichever month more of the days fall into, if that makes sense. So in this case, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are technically still part of July, but then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday are all in August. So there's 4 days in August and 3 days in July, which means it goes into the August setup, if that makes sense. If it fell in such a way that only the weekend was August, then I would have put this spread into my July setup. Honestly, it doesn't really matter, you do you, whatever works for you is great, but that's how I like to do it. We're bringing back some doodles and not the bunting for this setup, so I've got a little marquee tent, some ice cream, some balloons, fairy floss, stars to represent fireworks because that's a big thing at the Ekka, a hot dog because that's my favorite thing at the Ekka, and a little camera because this is me. I am a photographer, so of course I take a camera with me to the Ekka. I'm sure I'm not the only one, even if it's just the one on your phone. Everyone's out there getting their Insta shots. And I'm switching back to my usual, like just my handwriting, the way I usually write for my little headings. And here we have a little flip through of the entire month. I am not usually Little Miss Bright and colourful, but I really was just feeling it this time around, and I hope you guys enjoy this fun little, fairly quick doodly layout. I'm guessing it's probably not fun fair time of year in other places in the world. Then again, maybe it is. It's summer for the other hemisphere right now, right? So maybe this is something that would apply to you. And one last thing, I'm just going to add in my little tab to signify where August starts on the side here. I find this has worked really, really well for me, and one of the reasons I like having a cover on my notebook so much is because then this tab system just makes it so much easier to jump to the month that I need, because I do quite often have to refer back to notes I've made on weeklies in previous months, so I find that comes in really handy for me. And there we go, that is August sorted. Thank you so much for watching, my lovely friends. I hope you have enjoyed this setup in all of its colour and bright, happy cheerfulness. Feel free to pop over to my channel and hit subscribe. You can also find me on all of the social medias. I am on Instagram at Erin Smith Photo, on Twitter at Erin and the Light, and facebook.com/Erin Smith Photography. I hope you have a wonderful August, and I will catch you guys again very soon. Bye!